Welcome to our roundtable. We are going to be talking about staying ahead and embracing change in an accelerated era. So I'm so happy to have all of you guys here with us today. I want to go around, I almost said around the room, I'm going to do around the screen just so we could do a quick introduction of everybody. So the first person I see is Nicola. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. So, hi everyone. I'm so thrilled to be here. I'm Nicola Navone, and I'm a communication and leadership coach. So, I help leaders and organizations build fulfilling relationships and leave a lasting impact through their communication.
Amazing. Thank you. Kate?
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I am Kate Carter. So excited to be here today and be with these amazing, talented women on this panel. I am an AI strategist, head of education and programs at Mia AI, and I'm currently a PhD student studying artificial intelligence in healthcare. So I've been in healthcare for the last 8 years, and I am very passionate about making sure that this technology is safe for all of us, for women, for people of color.
Awesome. Thank you. Allison?
Yes, hi, I'm Allison Burke-Morano. I'm the founder of the Metaverse Chamber of Commerce as a way to bring small and medium-sized businesses into immersive technology and XR, and to make sure everybody kind of stays ahead of the technology. I also wear a political hat where I work on legislative policy nationally and internationally, as well as electoral politics. And I'm really happy to be here. And I think this is a great topic.
Awesome. Emily?
Hi everyone. Hi ladies. Lovely to see you here. Sorry, it's nighttime here, so I'm trying to get the lighting right. But yes, hi, I'm Emily. I was a CMO marketing leader for 9 years in Web3 and crypto, always worked in the exchanges. And now I support similar companies on their growth side. So I come in, support the teams and their leaders to make sure that they're set up for growth. They have the systems, processes in place. And I also support their nervous system and make sure that they're prepared for growth. I also have a podcast, Bubbling Out.
Awesome. Monet?
Hello, everyone. Thank you all for having me here today. I'm Monet Wright. I'm the founder and CEO of LetMeAskMonet.com, where we offer career coaching services and to our clients. And then we also help with curriculum design and business streamlining the operations and digital marketing strategy as well. So I'm looking forward to have an impactful conversation and learning from all of you all today as well.
Awesome. Sorry, I don't want to butcher your name. Chibet? Sorry.
Hi everyone. You got my name right. My name is Chibet Kipingor. I'm currently serving as a regional ambassador Africa for the Association of Women in Cryptocurrency, which is a nonprofit based in Washington, D.C. and has over 30 chapters spread across the world. I also serve as the Kenya lead for Busha. Busha is a crypto exchange. It's fully African owned and built, headquartered in Lagos, Nigeria. We just got licensed by the S.H.E, and we have close to 1 million customers and happily growing. So glad to be here.
That's awesome. Bernice? Are you able to unmute? Sorry. Oh, you may be having some technical difficulties there. So I will go next. My name is Jamie Petrie. I am the CEO and founder of Pink October Co. We are a marketing firm that also publishes books. Oh, I am so happy to be here today with you guys, and I'm going to dive right into our first question. How can organizations remain agile and responsive in a world where change is constant and rapid? And any one of us can start. So who wants to go first? Yeah, go for it. Just unmute and go. Yeah.
I'll hop off, and then Allison, I'm going to call on you next. So all of us, we were witness to COVID, right? And we all had to pivot. We had to shift. We had to be flexible. And I think that is in our nature to be resilient. We're seeing it with natural disasters. We're seeing it with wildfires. We see it in industries. And so it is important on an individual level, on a micro level, to have that same resilience, that same responsibility to be able to pivot, because your current position, current team, current role, or enterprise could be at risk with this advancing technology. So just keep that in mind to be able to be agile. It's an important human skill because we age, and as we age, our abilities change, and the same is true with any industry that we're working in.
Thank you. Allison?
Yep. I'm going to echo Kate. We really just have to be accepting of the fact that change is happening all the time. In all of the things that I do, I find that you learn more and more that change is not accepting by a lot of people. It's very, very hard to get them to change. And I think in this industry, especially with AI and XR, there's a fear, where people think that it's a replacement when it isn't. It's an enhancement. And if you can start from, this is not going to take your place, it's going to help you be more productive and more successful, you really can start to just become agile and pivot and just start to figure out how you move along with the times.
Thank
Is
you.
it okay? Hi. Is it okay if I go next? So personally, I draw inspiration from my grandma's generation, because during that time, a lot of things were really changing. They had to adapt when my grandfather and other men had to go and fight for independence and fight for colonization. And basically, they had to figure out how they're going to put food on the table. They had to figure out how they're going to educate their kids. They had to figure out everything. I find that very inspiring. And in this, changes a part of life, whether it's in the corporate space or in our personal lives. And today's challenges may look different, but the core principles remain the same. Accept reality, adapt quickly, and advance purposefully. Technology isn't just another change to like the weather. It's a tool for writing the next chapter of female entrepreneurship across the world.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Bernice, we have you
Yeah.
back. Would you like? Oh, sorry, Emily. Did you want to give an
Oh, you
answer?
go first.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Bernice. Would you like to do your introduction?
Definitely. Thank you so much. For intros, hello everyone. First of all, I'm Bernice from Women in Blockchain Africa. And Women in Blockchain Africa, in a nutshell, is an awareness platform focused at empowering young girls and women in the decentralized ecosystem. And we run most programs. Our core focus is Africa as a continent, making sure that women don't just become innovators, but also contributors in this space. So yeah, thank you. And I'm looking forward to having an insightful conversation today.
Thank you. Okay, Emily, did you want to answer the question too?
Yeah, so I was just going to jump in, and I love your points from Kate, Alison, and Chebet. It's really interesting to hear from that perspective in terms of like managing change, helping people all get on board. I work with people when it comes to transformation, and I work alongside change. What's it called? Change consultants, transformation consultants. Sorry, brain's not working. And as they're putting in the infrastructure and the logistics, I support them when it comes to the nervous system. And I think that's something we all forget about, is like change is really scary. We have all these survival processes keeping us in place and keeping us stuck in the same thing that feels safe. So helping people on the logistical side, the mindset side, and on the somatic side is so important. So that's what I do a lot of, actually. It's really interesting to see.
Yeah, thank you everyone for your really insightful answers. I'm going to go to the next question now. What approaches can leaders take to make informed decisions when the future is unclear? Monet, do you want to kick us off with this one?
Absolutely. So when it comes to things like this, when in uncertain times, leaders should definitely rely on scenario planning and prioritizing decisions based on their core organizational values, and then encouraging some diverse perspectives to mitigate some blind spots. a lot of the time where they're making certain decisions for certain groups, they are not those groups specifically in the room, and they can make sure that they diversify the people that are in the room, the people that are at the table, and the decision makers, so that there are some diverse thoughts and some diverse ideas and some innovative ideas that are brought to the table, and not so cookie cutter like we see every single day with, the movies that we watch over and over again, same story. But if they would just take the time to have some more of us at the table, they would definitely be able to leverage that and make some decisions based on, make some informed decisions, even when the future is unclear.
I'll jump in. Yeah, I want to echo what Monet said. Scenario planning for me as well is such a foundational approach, both at the team level and the organizational level, to really navigate uncertainty. So on the team level, let's say it's a sales team and they can explore what steps to take if they miss their quarterly targets, such as maybe introducing incentives or switching sales strategies. Or a product team, they might prepare for delays in development by identifying areas that can be recovered, where can time be recovered if their timeline is impacted, and coming up with other strategies. Then at the organizational level, what that can look like is regular meetings, monthly, quarterly, across departments, that can serve as a platform for teams to present emerging challenges. And then this creates more stability, and this also provides an opportunity for organizational leaders to collaborate on solutions, to reallocate resources, to align efforts across departments, and then they can address issues holistically from a broad standpoint. And then in addition to that, it's also having an environment that fosters continuous reflection and feedback. So building a culture of reflection by having teams regularly view the status of their deliverables, of their goals, perhaps through monthly forms or check-ins. And these reflections, they create a steady stream of data that really helps leaders identify patterns, anticipate risks, and make adjustments in real time before problems escalate.
Thank you. Thank you. I had a response for this too, which was just that no one can see the future, unfortunately. I wish we could, but I think that as leaders, if we lead our team with good intentions and with kindness and a people's first approach, I think we can be prepared for anything. Even with like the fires in LA and everything going on, there has been a lot of delays, at least on my end, from my perspective, just because people are going through unprecedented times right now. But with my team, we lead with kindness and people first. And so timelines can be pushed back, they can be rearranged. Their safety is way more important to me than anything else. So I think that more leaders need to implement that type of mentality instead of putting the status quo or the deadline as their first priority when making leadership decisions. Does anybody else want to chime in before we go to the next?
I do.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us can relate with the fact that change is scary. And as leaders, or if you're a leader, you have a lot on your shoulders. You're worried about whether your company is going to survive, or how to make, how to pay your role pay, or make sure you have enough money to pay everyone, and can be stressful. But I would say embrace the fear, because the fear pushes you to do things that you wouldn't have been able to do before. It makes you creative, it makes you innovative, it makes you think bigger. So change is scary, but we should embrace it, because that's how we're going to succeed and grow.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to go to the next question. How can businesses effectively address the complexities that come with accelerated technological and societal shifts? Yeah, Allison, sure.
So I think that a big part of embracing what's coming at you and the shifts and the technology is to, I go back to hearing the signal through the noise. and that also has to do with the uncertain future. You have a lot of information coming at you. It's probably a really good idea to dedicate somebody trustworthy to look for the signals, right? And you don't just see one thing and decide that's what it's going to be. It is complex, and you do have to look at a lot of different things, because you could see everything kind of going straight, but there's this one signal that's kind of veering, and somebody should be able to see that and kind of understand that's the one. And so since everything's coming at you so fast, you really have to understand that it's not all going in one direction. And societal shifts I deal with all the time. But again, those happen slowly, and you can really get ahead of it by understanding where you really think it's going, and either go with it or do what you can to be part of it so that you can direct it in a better direction for your company, or for your own small society and the people around you, to make sure everybody always understands what's going on. It's just really important when everything's coming at you really fast to kind of recognize what you think the next step is going to be and what's best for your entire community.
Yeah.
Yeah, as Allison mentions, everything is coming at us so fast. And I would imagine that's in every industry. In particular, in healthcare, that cross functionality is so important to manage someone's health. And I think sometimes, whether I'm in my ed tech space or my healthcare space, we can work in silos, and we kind of forget that cross collaboration is really important. And so for me, it as accelerated as this technology is coming at us, it's important to have that cross-functional collaboration and communication so that we can streamline some things and maybe avoid some fires that would potentially happen otherwise.
I want to jump off the back of what Kate shared. I love this idea of this cross-functional collaboration. And that really resonates for me, because for organizations to be able to adapt to major technological and societal shifts, they need to zoom out. They need to look at the broader impacts instead of focusing just on how it shifts their organization, because that can create blind spots. It's evaluating holistically, how does something impact all areas of the organization and all areas of the world? So take, the rise of remote work and the major shifts that had for the way the world communicates and connects. And so businesses, right, they had to work on adapting to a digital environment, shifting the way employees collaborate, shifting the way that they engage their employees in a virtual environment, creating environments where all employees feel supported despite not being in the office together. And also at a shift for access to talent, right? Companies could access amazing talent from any location. And so how did that impact organizations? We have people from all different backgrounds, all different cultures, all different communication styles, different ways of navigating conflict. And so organizations had to learn how to bridge people from all different backgrounds in harmony to create collaboration in the workplace. And then one other example, right? It's also the impact of tech. Businesses are leaning on Zoom, cloud-based platforms due to virtual work environments. And so at a systemic level, companies need to integrate systems that can scale the technology and that are secure for the technology. So it's really zooming out and looking at holistically across the organization, and also looking at systems and how larger systems are impacted by new technological and societal shifts.
Thank you. Thank you.
And these were all great points as well. The one thing I do want to add and encourage businesses is transparency and open and honest communication to really help teams tackle those challenges, because without all the details, we can't make those decisions and tackle those issues that we need to tackle, and tackle those challenges that need to be addressed as well. So as long as you provide some open and honest transparency and some communication ahead of time, not waiting for it to get too bad to where now we're having to dig out of a bigger hole, that would definitely help as well.
Yeah, all great points. Okay, I'm going to move to the next question. Okay, what actions can organizations take to prepare their workforce for evolving roles and emerging challenges?
I love this
Oh,
question.
sorry. Yeah,
Oh,
go.
sorry. Go ahead.
No, go.
I was going to say I love this question when I read it, because something that's really important to me is regularly upskilling and providing those opportunities, whether it's mentorship opportunities and encouraging adaptability as a mindset to make sure that you prepare for the workforce and its evolving roles. And leaders who are able to model this and have a willingness to learn can inspire their teams to do the same. Something that I would have appreciated in previous roles is an encouragement to use those development funds or whatever funds or benefits that they have, like scheduling some time, with your HR person or with your higher up to actually discuss what are some conferences you can attend, or some type of classes you can go to, or some type of training that you can take advantage of, and actually blocking out time, like prioritizing that, and also blocking it off just as much as they try to prioritize like PTO and stuff like that.
Yeah, I love
Can I
that
just
point, Monet. Oh, sorry. And it's really interesting because my background is startup, so only ever built from zero to like 600 or whatever, like being in the whole process all the time. And so for me, the idea of when I first started coaching people, the idea of people having like a development fund, I was like, whoa, this is crazy. I never had this privilege. I always had to just like find my own courses and get my own coaches and mentors, and had to like really go and search for these things. And so when I started working with more growing companies, scale ups at their growth phase, it was like, wow, you need to like start preparing the people that you've got that you want to move into leadership roles a lot earlier than you are. Because what I saw happening was they would hire people who'd never been a leader for a leadership role. They'd just push them into leadership, push them into management, because they were really great at what they did. Their technical skill set was amazing. And then they would just push them into a leadership role and hope for the best. And the people pushing them into a leadership role also didn't really have leadership experience. And I'm coming from a very niche background, right? So Web3 crypto is an emerging market. I was in there from the very beginning. So it's like I've seen this evolve over time. And so now when I work with teams, the first thing that we really focus on is like, what is the growth map for each person? Because we want them to stick around. When you're building something that's so innovative and so important for an industry, you want to keep your people and give them a reason to be there, and give them a reason to get up and do the work every single morning. And when they've got that clear growth plan, it's much easier for them to do that. So I'm happy that this is starting to become more normal in our industry, because before it just wasn't. And I think having that clear journey and knowing that you can go and learn it, and learning being part of your day, is something that's so important, I think, especially for emerging leaders.
Agreed. Chibet, did you want to?
Yeah. Hi, guys. So I was just going to chime in, and I'm going to basically build on what Emily and Moni have said. I think it would be great if more organizations took their time to have intentional education that's inclusive. So, and what I mean by here is like almost every organization right now has Slack channels, and we have Slack channels for like everything to communicate and do other things. But what if we had dedicated channels for education where 15 minutes every day, everybody stops what they're doing and learns something new? Every day, 15 minutes, it will make a huge difference at the end of the day. And you don't have to have huge budgets, because I'm also in the startup space and we have to be creative with our resources. But we have the internet, the power of Web3, and we need to make better use of it. So 15 minutes every day and everyone learns something.
Yes. Oh, Bernice, did you want to go next? I think you're me. Yeah, there you go.
Yes. So just a plus one to what Emily mentioned. I think the need to encourage skill diversification in a workplace is very key, especially for because working with ladies, sometimes in the blockchain industry, for example, we see that some ladies, they tend to run away or shy away from those technical parts of the technical side of the blockchain or even the technological space. And they sometimes want to just, I see it basically as a result of inferiority complex, for me to use the word, or yeah. And by the time you enable them, mount upon roles or assign some tasks to them, you see them putting in as much effort and competence, unlike the ones they have been used to. So one key thing I would seek to encourage is creating a platform where to help employees build a mix of both technical and soft skills in order for them to even adapt to diverse changes. So just a point on to what Emily mentioned earlier. Yeah.
Agreed. Sorry. Was someone else? I think I'm just hearing myself. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt anyone. I think education in a role is very important. I think that we sometimes will start a role and then be expected to just know everything else as we like grow up the ladder. And I do think that that's a bit unrealistic. One thing that if you research, top 10 tips from like billionaires or millionaires, is always on there somewhere. It says like, never stop learning. And I think that that's really vital for everyone. We are in a very ever-changing space and industry. And I really think that pushing ourselves to learn new things, even if we have to do it independently, is really important and can really provide extra insights. Because you never know, you might see something in a course and be able to bring that back to your team and show them new things. And then we all start learning new things. So I think that that is very key. I'm going to skip ahead a few questions. We have 10 minutes left, and I wanted to stop on this one. How can leaders address resistance and cultivate a mindset that embraces transformation? And I'm going to start with Kate. Oh, sorry, Allison. Yes, go.
No, Kate. So I think that this goes back to what I was saying in the beginning, which is don't be afraid of it, because it's not a replacement. It's something that's there to help. And I start a lot of conversations when people hear that I work in AI and I also, Emily, work with crypto, trying to get people on board and education. I went back to grad school last year, and I'll be done. This is my last semester. And I just went back at a very late age, and I decided I wanted a master's in international relations, because I think this is a global thing that we're all doing. And I tend to go back and learn about it. So I'm really happy to hear everybody should be doing that. But the idea is to make sure that nobody feels threatened by it. That seems to be where everything lands. Nothing is coming to replace you. If you learn it, it helps you. And it's in every industry. Like I was saying, most people will come to me when they hear I'm working with AI and they say, well, they could never do what I do. And it's not supposed to do what you do. It's supposed to help you do what you do. And there's just a way to put people in the mindset of wanting to incorporate it and not worry that it's, again, going to replace them. And if you can keep people at ease about learning something new and about the change in the business or the change in the industry, that goes a long way to getting people accepting and embracing. So I just think patience is and patience in an accelerated world is not an easy task, but it's something that you should, just kind of walk that line.
Yeah. Allison, congratulations on going back to school. I love it. I would just say communicating why. We're just kind of told what to do, and it's frustrating when we don't understand why. And so if you can just take that moment as a leader, as an organization, and say, this is why we're shifting this way, then you can get people on board and you're more likely to get buy-in. You have to get that buy-in, otherwise you're going to be met with resistance. So it doesn't matter whether it's a personal relationship, your team, your direct report, or wherever. If you communicate that why, so that people can have that understanding, it allows for the education piece and allows for the least amount of resistance.
I love that. I was going to mention the same thing, is providing that why, with going back to that open and honest, transparent communication. And then if you really want to shift the resistance into support, listening and addressing concerns can definitely help when it comes to making sure that you get that buy-in from your employees, and then making sure that you highlight the benefits of the transformation as well and why the shift is happening.
What comes for me is, and these are all really, really amazing answers, and I love the variability here, and I love examples. So for me, I think about, Pixar. They have this brain trust process that intentionally disrupts the creative process, where they invite directors and writers and producers from different projects to offer feedback during the development of new films. And so this process actually helped them create Inside Out, Toy Story, some of their classics. And so same thing goes for organizations, because as human beings, we're creatures of habit, so we love the routine. And as a leader, to address resistance, it starts at the leadership level and then bringing it into the organization. So as a leader on the personal level, begin with small, intentional little disruptions, going a different way to work, taking a walk during the day, switching up the routine, because these small shifts, they actually expand your capacity for adaptability. And then within the organizational level, it's inviting leaders from different disciplines, kind of like the Pixar example, to meetings, to observe, to give feedback, because this kind of cross-pollination among ideas and disciplines, it's going to spark new approaches and new perspectives, and it's ultimately going to help teams embrace change. Because change, we've all been saying this, it can bring uncertainty, it can feel scary, and rather than seeing it as a threat, see it as an opportunity for growth, and know that we won't all have the answers. And then the last piece is, for me, that comes as the somatic element, bringing grounding into the organization. So doing things like meditation or breath work, or things that can provide as an anchor in the face of change. So regular feedback surveys, things that bring more structure to enable the organization to transform and change in a fast-paced environment.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, we have 4 minutes left, so I'm going to skip to the last question, and then we can do closing remarks. So either or, put in notes on the question, or you can leave a closing remark. But what key steps should organizations take today to remain relevant and competitive in the years ahead?
Hi. So I'd say one key step that organizations can take is by not being afraid, like I said before, but also as they tackle all these new things, breaking this down into digestible steps, and not try to do everything at once. I'll still go back to the example of my grandmother. Start with what you know and grow slowly and build on that. When they were adapting to change, they started with agriculture, farming, things that were easy and things that they're familiar with. And that's the same. Leaders and organizations should start with what's relevant and work backwards. And that will really help, because at the end of the day, even when new things, new technologies are coming about, change is about finding new paths to thrive, not just to survive. So figuring out what would create the best environment for everyone to thrive, and work backwards from that. Thanks, guys, and bye.
And thank you. I'll jump in there really quickly to mention that future proofing definitely requires staying curious and open to change. And whether that is embracing AI or creating flexible business model, or even fostering a culture that thrives on innovation, businesses that focus on adaptability and customer-centric solutions will always stay competitive. And thank you all for the time today.
Thank you.
Yeah. And on my own note, I would say organizations should embrace continuous learning and skill development. We see the rapid evolution of technology, for example, and in order for organizations to remain relevant as technology is evolving, I think skill development and continuous learning, being able to flex as technology is evolving and improving by the day. And organizations need to also create a culture of lifelong learning. And there are numerous platforms like the LinkedIn Learning, for example, to be fully equipped and in order to stay relevant in the future. So that's one key thing I would say about being relevant as the board evolves. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else? I think we got about 60 seconds.
I want to echo what everybody said. Don't be afraid about what's coming, and have people that are dedicated to figuring out the next best steps. It shouldn't all fall on you. That's where a lot of our attention gets diverted. As I said in the beginning, have trusted people that can help you navigate to what's coming and not pretending it's not coming, but figuring out which is going to best be suited for your next steps to grow and where you should be positioned for the next couple of years. Instead of fighting it, just embrace it and not be afraid of it. And thank you. This was an amazing panel. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you everyone for being here with us today and for giving such insightful answers. You ladies are all amazing, and I hope to be back here with you guys soon.